So I will pass it over to our speakers from the Canary Islands, who will share some examples from a broader process of transformation that speaks to that exact question. So Neda, over to you.
Thank you so much, Cecilia. First of all, I would like to thank the Baha'i International community for giving me this opportunity to be here. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you, reflecting about these important matters and learning together. We are going to share an example of how the three actors in society can collaborate to assist large numbers of people in working toward their own social development. We will share the example, one line of action among many, of day camps. It's an initiative that brings together hundreds of children, youth and adults in service to the community. As we are going to share our experience fostering relationships of collaboration and coordination between social actors in Canary Islands, we thought it would be helpful to first provide a brief context about the Canary Islands. So they are located in the Atlantic Ocean and are part of Spain. They are made up of 8 islands with a total population of more than 2 million inhabitants. Canarians are traditionally open, hospitable, and warm people who are deeply attached to their land. Precisely because they are people who in the past were forced to emigrate, they have always shown a welcoming spirit. Although in recent years, the influence of a more globalized and materialistic society can be felt, along with more problematic narratives that affect the very identity of the Canarian people. Something that is felt most strongly by younger generations. While some of these forces are negative in many neighborhoods, growing numbers of residents are striving to build welcoming communities that protect people from loneliness, addiction, and violence. So in this context, it is in this context that the Institute for Community Training and Development, a community-based organization, seeks to promote an educational process to develop the capacity of people to serve their own communities, build community life, and apply spiritual and moral principles in their daily lives. So the Institute learns through various educational activities to develop the capacity of the population to serve their own neighborhoods, encouraging them to become protagonists of their own development. So the Institute draws on the teachings and principles of the Baha'i faith to assist people of all backgrounds in advancing personal and collective transformation. It sees the provision of moral and intellectual education expressed through acts of service as means to build capacity to transform society. So these educational activities seek not only to empower individuals, but also to strengthen the social fabric and provide a bridge between individuals, communities, and institutions. When individuals feel they are protagonists of change, their relationship with local authorities is transformed. They no longer wait for institutions or simply make demands. Change lies within them and within the community, and they seek institutional support to achieve the community vision they have collectively built. As an example of this, in the neighborhood of La Feria, a city council member approached one of the institute coordinators to express surprise that when meeting with residents that were in this process, instead of hearing demands about unfulfilled promises, he heard neighborhoods sharing the community action they themselves had carried out, as well as plan and projects requiring collaboration with the city council. He shared that this was very different from his usual experiences. So we will now share our concrete experience of day camps in more details. These camps are organized by the Institute and with the active collaboration of several NGOs, along with the Canary Island Government Volunteer Office and the Department of Social Services of the local city council. From 2020 to 2025, these camps grew from 3 to 11 along all the Canary Islands, from 100 to 1,100 young people participating, from 75 to more than 300 volunteers, and from 8 to 50, more than 50 collaborating organizations, and from 200 participants to more than 1,400. I think this growth demonstrates how a local community can collectively arise to advance aspects of its own social development with governing institutions, community groups, and individual citizens learn to work together as a part of a shared endeavor for the betterment of all. Also, experience suggests that these three actors fully realize their potential by strengthening their relationship with one another. And there are many principles that can improve the way they interact, but there is one cardinal principle that shapes and defines these relationships, which is cooperation and mutual support. So the more these principles are practiced, the more society as a whole progresses. In many places, it is not easy, at least in the Canary Islands, for the three actors to come together and to collaborate, as there are few spaces where this can happen. So we are learning to intentionally create spaces that allow these relationships to develop. So these spaces are not organized only by institutions, rather they're also organized by the communities themselves, which invite institutions to participate. And this transforms the dynamic from a top-down approach from one built from the grassroots. And these consultation spaces serve to collectively read the reality and understand reality alongside neighborhoods residents. Since they are organized by the community itself, the consultation revolves around their concerns and aspirations rather than preconceived ideas or predetermined agendas. So community members are learning to build consensus around a shared purpose, while institutions fulfill the essential role of supporting community initiatives, strengthening a common narrative, and ensuring the necessary resources that plans may be put into action. And the community provides a space so that, because we were thinking that it's easy if we can think about the role of each. And the community, we say that the process is we are trying to build community because we are trying to build new communities with new characteristics, such as the community, one of the roles it has is to provide a space to work, serve, and learn together. Okay, so over of common identity, will, and purpose emerges, creating an environment that nurtures individual capacity and unites people in complementary and mutually reinforcing activities that welcome everyone and seek to uplift all. And the community aspires to strengthen unity among its members, to be free from all forms of prejudice, to serve selflessly, and to advance educational processes, and to cultivate virtue, and to systematically contribute to the material, social, and spiritual progress of society. So I just shared some of the principles of this process and the thinking behind this process. And now my colleague Andy is about to share what this looks like in practice.
Hello, friends. It's very nice to be here. Really, really grateful. First of all, I have to apologize because of my English, not very good. I will try my best. If you understand something, don't worry, I made up the word. So yeah, it's Neda have shared some of these principles. We really think that this idea, of day camps, that now we're gonna share this experience, we also call a community camp. It's a good example that reflects this interaction and this collaboration between the individual, the institution, the community, but also something that emerged directly from the individuals and the community. It was not organized by the institution, but really it makes the institution about what was the role into supporting directly the desires the community have. So my idea is to share a little bit about how it started and also what actually looks like this day camp. So as Ms. Jane was sharing, I don't know if because we are also very close to the African coast, it's also normal that Canary people like to come together and like to think together. So also this idea of being in a community is a very important part of our identity. Probably of most of us, even though it seems that it's losing this idea of community, of thinking together. In the past, when we thought about education, we don't only thought about the education of our kids, but the education of all our neighbors. At least that was my grandmother used to tell me. So it's interesting because the way it started, this day camp, was through these different reflection spaces Neda was sharing. So friends, groups of family came together and start to think about what were their needs. And while they start to read the reality, they saw there was a concrete things they need. They saw that in moments where there were not a scholar break, holidays, okay, so, in moments of holidays, they have to work. So they have to put the kids in some place. You know, I don't know in your context, but at least in the Canary Island, there's private day camps where you can put your kids, but are very expensive. So it's not for everybody. So these families start to think, okay, this is something we need. But it's not only something we need, we also want that this moment, that is a lot of time, because imagine in summer, it's more than 5 weeks that kids are without school. We also want that it become significant for them, that they can actually learn something, not only be entertained. Because there's a lot of camps that you can be entertained, like football camp or different type of day or community camps. So while they identify with a lot of clarity what are the needs and also what were their aspirations, what they wanted, they start to share it with a lot of other families in the neighborhood. So this started 5 years ago in 2020. So while after the pandemic, so while they'll share what they wanted to do, they saw that a lot of other families also wanted to contribute. And they make a very brave decision. That was, okay, if we don't have day camps in which we can put our kids because it's too expensive, let's create our own community camp for all the neighborhoods. So this idea, how we can reach also the whole population of our neighborhoods, how we can support all the families that have the same needs we have. And they start to talk about also different organization and association of the neighborhood. And of course, they were willing to contribute to this. So this was the way it started the first camp with a lot of kids, junior youth that start to contribute. One interesting thing is that it was all people that volunteer. Imagine, volunteer during all your summer. 5 weeks all the time of your summer, you are dedicated, committed to be from 9 in the morning to 2 in the afternoon to serve your community, and try also that in this camp, there was this element of education. And it was interesting because most of the volunteers were youth and elder people, because are those that were not working. So imagine all the opportunities of relationship and intergeneration. Okay, that was my first made up word. So imagine the impact that could have, that it's actually have. I want to share also some of the photos, because it's like a beautiful picture I'm sharing, but it's better if we actually see the pictures of this community camp. Here, I just want to share an example of all the kids and the families and the youth. Those that are with the t-shirt, orange t-shirt, are all those that are volunteers. Here we have some of the conversation with all the families that have got involved into organizing this camp. And again, some of the volunteers. And as we were also saying, also elder people and young people coming together, all part of the same neighborhood, trying to work from a common goal. So what actually we do in this camp? So one of the things that we do is mainly, there is a moment where they have moments of reflection when they study together about values and principles. So for example, one of the main topics they use to reflect on, the kids and those that are from 11 to 15 years old, is this idea of becoming practitioners of peace. How we can actually, in practice, put these principles where when we have a conflict, we find together what's the thing we have in common, and we become practitioners of peace. So again, there's trying to fulfill this aspiration the families have of education for the kids and education from the younger generation. So here I'm just sharing like this general idea that there's also moments for, it's always in Spanish, but there's also moments for a workshop, for sports. And here comes also a lot of collaboration of different organizations and different entities that have this opportunity to collaborate. So let's see also like, what's the role of the institution in this? Because the idea is that we talk about this coordination between the three main actors of society, the individuals, the community, and the institution. So what's the role the institution have here? It was very interesting because in this first experience we have, as Neda shared now, that if we come from 1 camp to now, we are having more than in 11 camps. So we are 8 islands. So in 4 islands, there's community camps. So it's interesting because the first one, institutions were not very involved. They allowed to have the space, this beautiful space you saw. The institution allowed that we have the space, but they were not particularly very involved. But when they saw the impact that it was having in the community, even to create a unity, to create a sense of belonging, they came and said, we want to be part of this. So what do you actually need? And this for me is very interesting because it was not themselves saying what is needed. It was asking the community, asking the family what they need for the camp. So the family consult together and they say, okay, what we need is food for lunch. Because again, a lot of families are still working and it's a neighborhood that needs also some support, even financial support, some of the families. So the local government commit that from 5 weeks, from Monday to Friday, they would put all the lunch for all the kids of that were part of these community camps. So I'm gonna translate for you. With who do we do this? So we do this with family, with neighborhood mothers, fathers, young people, grandmother, but also with institution. So in these day camps is involved the health center, the police, the government, the church, but also other identities, other entities, association, even supermarket that give food for the breakfast. I'm gonna keep these photos while I talk, that this it inspired me. So yes, I wanna finish because they tell me it was just 10 minutes and clock is ticking. But I just wanna also share that like some of the words of the city council when it visit this camp. Now, as it's interesting because one of the role the institution now is having is that it's trying to promote these community camps through all the Canary Islands. So now we're trying and we're thinking together with the institution how in all places it can emerge the day camps, because I feel this is an important question. It has to emerge. It becomes from the population, it becomes from the people, and we need to hear what the people really are, the needs and the aspirations and what they want. and then think how we can support. So this is the conversation we are trying to have now with the institution. And just share these last words of the city council that he shared while he was visiting some of the camps. And one of the things that he highlighted is that this type of camps is only possible thanks to unity. Unity of the people of the neighborhood, unity of all the different organizations of the community that want to support, and unity with the institution that really want to support the grassroots decision. So these also have changed the vision the neighborhood have from the institution, because they used to thought about the institution as an institution that promise a lot but doesn't do much. And now they are showing that it's actually, they're seeing that it's actually taking in consolidation what the true worries are. Thank you very much.